Richard and Robert, I'm going to join you in a second, but right now, tonight, we're going to talk about medications and how they can affect mood, and also just generally taking care of a person, a difficult carry and then a really enjoyable carry. So I'm going to come sit down. And Robert, why don't you tell us about your epilepsy medicines and tell us if they affect your mood at all?
Did not affect my mood at all.
No, I mean, maybe they did when you were younger. You were on different meds. Didn't you get pretty depressed for a while?
When I was really young.
When you were really young, yeah. And then they changed your meds, so now you're pretty even, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Very.
I'm not depressed at all.
Not depressed at all. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you're generally in a pretty good mood.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I would say that. But I think we can all agree, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but when earlier this year, you were on a different medication.
Yes.
And you also were having trouble walking, and it was a really tough time for all of us. And you got pretty frustrated with a lot of things that we were doing, and you were kind of cranky. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. And how did that feel?
Yeah, well, back, they were not, not being good to me.
Yeah, it felt like people weren't being good to you.
Right.
Yeah, you were having a hard time.
It's time for me to even walk around and.
Yeah, and that gets frustrating.
Yes.
Now, when Richard's on a new medication for his back, sometimes he gets cranky, but you've adjusted your meds too, Richard, right?
Yep,
That's good.
but I never get cranky.
We need to laugh quickly. Anyway.
No, I do get cranky when it's a new med that I have not been on before. It can take a couple weeks for me to get used to it before I'm where I should be. But yeah, I've had my moments.
Yeah, well, medications do affect, they're a drug, so they definitely affect your mental state and how you feel. And if you're experiencing a decline like Robert was earlier this year, it can be very difficult and frustrating. I think particularly for someone with maybe a slight cognitive impairment, because they don't really understand what's happening or why that's happening. And as a caregiver, it can be really difficult to take care of someone who is a difficult carry. I think we can all agree it's much easier to take care of someone that is in a good mood than someone that's not in a good mood. And I know when I get cranky, it affects everybody. I think when Robert's cranky, it affects all of us. When Richard is, it just, mood kind of shifts and is contagious. And when we're all, happy and having a good old time, things flow. But when I get cranky, I think that affects Robert. How do you feel when I get cranky? Is it frustrating for you?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. I would imagine. But I don't get cranky very often.
Does she get cranky a lot or a little?
No, not very often. She gets very good.
All right.
Yeah, I know.
Well, somebody gets Rocky Road ice cream for dessert. All right, we are in the middle we just finished dinner. We're about to have dessert, and so I just want to take a little break and talk about medications and the effects of medications and taking care of a carry that, depending on their mood. Do you have anything to say? Yes?
I do actually. I know of a long period in our stretch where I was on several different narcotics, and it definitely affected my mood a lot. And my mood affected the entire house. And it came down to it was the medications. So if you see somebody, a carry or a family member that's not acting the way they normally would, start looking at any type of new medications they might be on, especially the narcotics, the epilepsy medications, the all that type of stuff, the heavier drug medications are something that I would definitely look to see if there's any new medications in the mix that might be causing it.
Yeah, his mom has experienced that too. I'd also look to see if you have a new puppy in the house that's maybe making someone a little cranky.
Who's he making crazy?
Does Taz make you a little cranky sometimes when he's in your face? He doesn't know anything about personal space, does he?
No.
No, he doesn't. Okay, you want to say goodbye to the people watching?
Goodbye to the people
Goodbye,
watching.
I miss you.
Thank you. Thanks guys for answering those questions.
You're welcome.
Goodbye, I miss you.
Happy
you, Robert.
Epilepsy Awareness Month.